What's up, YouTube? JCM45 here, coming at you with yet another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Firestar. And before we take Firestar out of the package, we will take a quick look at the box itself. Here we have the standard Marvel Legends box. You have a nice window there showcasing the figure and accessories she comes with. She comes with quite a bit there, which is fun. You have your Marvel logo, Firestar. Flipping on over to the side, you have some promo art of Firestar. This is some original art here. I don't think it's based off of any comics or anything from the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends TV show. Here you have a quick little bio of Firestar with a nice drawing there. That's pretty good. You have all your legal stuff down there on the bottom. Same promo art on the side. Taking a quick look at the top of the box, you just have the Firestar kind of font there, and then you have more legal and the UPC. Alright, so now that we took a look at the packaging, let's look at Firestar. And real quick, we'll take a look at this little insert that they included in the packaging. It is a faithful recreation of the Amazing Friends dorm room that transforms into their little crime lab. And that's a pretty cool little insert. I don't usually keep the backgrounds that are included in the Marvel Legends boxes, but this is a nice one, so I will be hanging on to this one and using it for pictures and whatnot. And here's Angelica Jones out of the packaging. It's looking pretty good there. Pretty impressed with how Hasbro did this figure. I'm not complaining. They had it's pretty extensive reuse, but that's okay. Don't really hate them too much, especially on kind of a lesser known character like this that not too many people are going to either know or care about. So moving on, so we'll take a look at the head first. Looking at her head sculpt here, the one that's included out of the packaging on the figure is the more swept to the side hair look, where the hair's kind of blowing off to the side there, and it's a more dynamic kind of action pose. And that's pretty cool. That looks really nice there. You can see that the face details are nicely done. She does kind of have a slight wash on the hair there to bring out the detailing there, so that's pretty good. I like what they did there. Moving on down the torso, and actually I think the whole body is reused from the most recent Walmart exclusive Black Widow, the classic one with the gray bodysuit and the bomber jacket. And so that's going to be reused there. We've seen this all before, so that's fairly expected. The yellow plastic they used, as you can see, is slightly different from up here on the upper torso to the abdomen and like the arms here. So that's kind of a bummer. If you move on down, the actually legs also kind of mismatch there. They kind of more closely match that upper torso than the thighs they're connected to, so that's kind of a disappointment. The yellow to orange to red is looking pretty good there on there. The yellow plastic to the orange and red paint. Can't really complain there. That's on her arms and on her legs there. Only kind of gripe I had about that is I kind of wish the orange was a little darker and stood out a little bit more from the yellow there, but that could be my crappy eyes, so who knows. But other than that, that is Firestar. So we'll be going over her articulation, taking a look at her head. She's on a ball and hinge system like most Marvel Legends. She can look up about that far due to her hair. She can look down about that far, and she can turn this head about that much because it kind of gets caught on the collar and the hair there. And she does have some tilt there, so that's nice. We'll take a look at her other head in a minute. She does not have nearly as much range of movement with that other head that was included. She does have a hinge and swivel on the shoulders, and so that can hinge out about that far. It can go 360 degrees around. She's got an elbow swivel there, and she can hit about 90 degrees with her elbow joint. And then we're on the typical hinge and swivel for her wrists. Moving on to the torso. The torso is on a ball joint, so she can get some decent range there. She can arc back about that much, but she gaps up a bit there. She can only arc forward kind of that much, and she can get side to side pretty good. No waist joint there. Moving on to the hips. She can kick up about that far. She can kick down back about only that far. She can spread only about that much. She's got a thigh swivel there. Double jointed knees. And an ankle with a forward-facing pin and hinge for rocker. That can go about that far up, and then it's a pretty good tilt there. So that's Firestar's Articulation. Next up, we'll take a look at her accessories. So she does include a pair of fists, a pair of the female kind of splayed out magic or power hands that we've seen dozens of times with various Marvel Legend females. She comes with some fiery, swirly plastic pieces that can kind of attach to her hands. We've seen these a few times. I think the first time I've seen these was with an MCU Scarlet Witch or something like that, so not bad. We also include her alternate head. We'll swap that out here in a second. That one is a more classic-inspired head, how she looked in the 70s cartoon. And that's looking really cool there. I like how they did the kind of curls in her hair, and just they did a really good job there. So the only downside is with that collar, she does not have a lot of range to kind of move around with this head. We'll show you that in a minute. And then we also get a Miss Lion, her little dog. The only difference here with this is I believe Miss Lion was brown in the cartoon, if I remember right. It's been a minute. I haven't seen it in a long time, so yeah. So Miss Lion looks pretty good. She's kind of white grayish. She's got a wash there to bring out the details. Some good face there. She's got. Does she have a bow? Yeah, she does have a bow on her ears, and her head is articulated and can move. So that's pretty cool. Here's Firestar with that more classic-looking head on there, and this looks great. Honestly, this looks like it just jumped out of the cartoon from back then. So this is probably the head I'll be keeping on her. As you can see, because of that collar and because of the way the hair sits, she doesn't really get that much range of movement. She can only kind of turn around that much and turn around like that. She gets a little tilt, can't look back at all, and she can actually look down about that much. So she can look down a little bit. Not a ton. It is what it is. But like I said, this definitely looks a lot better. This is the head I'll be keeping on the figure, probably going forward. And next up, we'll have some size comparisons here. And we've got the Amazing Friends themselves. We've got Spider-Man and Iceman. These are both the retro-carded Marvel Legends figures, the Marvel Legends Retro Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends Retro Iceman that came out last year. Or the year before, I can't quite recall when he came out. But those three look awesome together. I'm really happy with how they look. And I almost wish I got doubles of these two so I could... Because this guy is usually sitting on my X-Men shelf. This guy's in a random spot on my Spider-Man shelf. And I almost wish I had doubles so I could have just a couple of Amazing Friends on the shelves. But it is what it is. So they're looking great together. I'm really happy with these three. And then here she is as usual with Marvel Legends Deadpool on that Bucky cap mold and a Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper. Alright, so my final thoughts on Firestar are she's alright. She's a pretty good figure. Fairly standard female Marvel Legends mold, which it is what it is. We can't really complain too much about that, I guess, especially for such a lesser known character like her. So it's great that we got her. I think the classic inspired head is fantastically done. I really, really appreciate that. That's going to be staying on the figure for the foreseeable future. And the accessories she came with are pretty good. I'm really happy they included Miss Lion here. I do wish she was brown, like she was in the cartoon, but I guess it is what it is. My only kind of gripes are the mold reuse. We've seen this with this body before, and then the mismatching yellows there. I think you can still even kind of tell in this shot here that they are not quite matching, and that is kind of a shame, but it is what it is, I guess. other than that, I'm pretty happy. I'm happy to have her with Spider-Man and Iceman. I have a lot of fond memories of Spider-Man and his amazing friends from my childhood, so it's really good to have this figure and have her with the other figures. So, yeah. Hope you guys liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe, do what you all do. And I'll see you next time.